So good evening, everyone in NAWBO and our friends and our corporate partners, and anyone across this beautiful country of ours who supports women-owned businesses. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Coppola. I'm honored to be the chair of the board of NAWBO, and I'm here with another Facebook Live. We try to do these every couple, 3 weeks or so, because we find the best way to make sure we're communicating is to do it in lots of different ways, right? Everyone who's on the mailing list gets a NAWBO and you email blast on the East Coast where I am, comes every Sunday morning around 8 o'clock in the morning. And we have our website at nawbo.org. We have this Facebook page that I'm on, that our wonderful social media strategist, Margaret, keeps populated with lots of information, including our Instagram and also our LinkedIn. And then we thought, maybe let's talk the information, what's pressing, what's new, what's interesting every once in a while, because we all learn differently and we all hear things at different times. So without taking too much time, here we are on December 5th, and our year is almost over. Our calendar year is almost over. So congratulations, NAWBO sisters, for making it through 2023. Only a couple things on my agenda to cover today, just to make sure that you are in the know. High priority, the woman business owner of the year. Woman Business Owner of the Year. As you know, Bank of America sponsors this annual award, which historically we have given out the night of the Women's Business Conference, right? And that typically is in the fall. This past year, it was in October, when we were all down in beautiful Austin. Hello, Texas sisters. This coming year, 2024, we're not having a WBC because we are putting all of our preparation and all of our energy into our 50th anniversary, which will be a combination of advocacy days and the WBC in Washington, D.C. in June of 2025. So mark that on your calendars right now. June of 2025, we're all going to be in Washington, D.C. to celebrate 50 years of this just marvelous organization and the women and our partners who make it work to support women across this country in their entrepreneurial dreams. So meanwhile, what do we do for Woman Business Owner of the Year for 2024? Well, our wonderful HQ team put on their thinking caps and said, well, what's another time we gather during the year? And we do that during advocacy days, which this year in 2024, we're going to call NAWBO Days, because we're going to also do our Woman Business Owner of the Year award during that time frame, the first week of June of 2024. What does that mean for all of us? It means applicants for the WBO of the year need to be in sooner than they ordinarily are. And when is that? Well, we've been talking about it now for a bit. You've been seeing it every week in your NAWBO and You Sunday news blast. But I'm here to say it's December 5th. The deadline is December 15th, 10 days from today. So I want all of you to seriously think about nominating one or more of your NAWBO sisters for this prestigious award, sponsored and supported by Bank of America. If you go to nawbo.org/about/NAWBO-awards, and I bet it's going to be down in the notes below my face, you will see the application for that, the link to the application. It's pretty straightforward. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate your best pal at your chapter. If, like me, you've gone to national events or you've helped serve on a national committee, and you've gotten to know women from other chapters, women from around the country, you can nominate them too. You can nominate yourself as well. You will see a series of 6 or 7 under 10 questions to answer in the nomination form. We've got the information all on the NAWBO.org website. And also, when you go to formally apply or formally nominate, you're being taken to a SurveyMonkey link where you answer these questions. And they're questions like the nominee's company's growth, how the nominee actually effectuated that growth. What was her involvement? How did she participate? How did she make that magic happen? How she participates in the day-to-day operations of her business, and then what community organizations is she involved in? You know, many of our NAWBO sisters, in addition to serving at their local chapter level, they serve in many other capacities. Some serve in community organizations relating to business, like chambers of commerce and the like. Others serve schools and children's organizations, organizations that help women in business in their community. Some work in organizations that help women generally in their community. All of that community organization effort, commitment is appropriate and relevant for the Woman Business Owner of the Year nomination form. And then a little bit of background about that entrepreneur you're nominating. If it's yourself, if it's somebody you know and are really impressed by and proud of. When did they become an entrepreneur? What do they do? How's their involvement in their local NAWBO chapter? And have they had opportunities to go to national events? Have they participated at the national level in one way or another? And then you're also entitled to send in up to 4 additional documents. Those might be recommendation letters. They might be news clips. They might be a company's annual report if your nominee has something like that. The important point here, and I wanted to give you this context and this background because I really want to see applicants, nominees from every chapter across the country, and certainly from our virtual members as well. Remember, you can nominate yourself. And remember, 10 days from today, December 15th, is the deadline for those nominations because that award is going to be handed out earlier in the year than usual. So please, please, please go to the link that we furnished to you. Look at your NAWBO and You e-blast you got this past Sunday, or look at the one you'll have coming up. I'm looking at my calendar. Sunday's the 10th, so that would still leave you 5 days to complete 1 or 2 nominations. Please think about doing that for yourself or one of your colleagues and friends. The more nominees we have, the more robust our process is. And as you saw this year down in Austin, we had these 3 amazing finalists. And this will help me segue into the second topic I'm going to talk about, which is our Leadership Academy, because we always promote our top 10 nominees. And so the more nominees, the better. Let's get our awards committee working hard, right? And let's give ourselves, let's give our friends and colleagues, others whom we're proud of and we respect, the kind of attention they deserve. Sometimes we're not so great at doing that for ourselves and for our colleagues. And this is just a beautiful opportunity to do that for yourself or one of your NAWBO sisters. So remember, Woman Business Owner of the Year, deadline December 15th, 2023, 10 days from today. Next, Leadership Academy. And I said there was a segue there, right? That starts Sunday, January 28th. And it's down in, I can hear them cheering in the background, even though I'm in Buffalo, New York. It's down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our Charlotte chapter is jazzed to have us all there. And in fact, they are hosting an evening of networking, friendship, and new connections to welcome us to their city. Long Beach and the LA chapter did such a beautiful job last year in January, welcoming us to their part of the country. And Charlotte's going to do that this year. And remarkably, there's no cost to the reception. Charlotte has underwritten this, and you do have to register for it, right? We want to make sure there's enough appetizers for everyone. And that's a great way to kick off the couple days of Leadership Academy. For those who might be new to Leadership Academy, just very generally. What it is 2 days of training, education, inspiration around leadership. Are you thinking to yourself, well, I'm not a leader in my chapter. I'm not a NAWBO leader. That's okay. While there is one track for leaders of NAWBO, whether in your local chapter or if you aspire to be a leader at the national level, there's absolutely a track. And we'll talk about some of the content of that track, those learnings or that education. But then there's another track, and that's about leadership in general. And the notion of leadership is extraordinarily important. We as women have not always historically been leaders in the business community, in the philanthropic world, where we might be volunteering our time in our communities, or even in the political world, although that's getting better, and so is the business end of things. But we have thought for the past number of years, it's very important to have a leadership track that talks about leadership in business, right? Developing all of us to our highest potential. So we'll start out Leadership Academy with a formal content on Monday, January 29th. And we'll have opening remarks from our bestie, Jill Calabrese-Payne, from our title sponsor, Bank of America. We're always so very grateful for the commitment Bank of America has to NAWBO and to all of us women business owners. And then we're going to have a keynote speaker whose name is Amanda Brinkman. And Amanda, if you go to NAWBO.org and you look at the events calendar and you toggle over to Leadership Academy, you're going to see Amanda is a producer, a filmmaker, and she's a branding expert. And her message is about doing well by doing good. That's her philosophy in business. And so we're going to hear from her, and that's a really exciting topic. Sometimes we hear a lot of negativity, maybe not in our business, but in our communities and in the world at large. And Amanda's philosophy of how to do well by doing good is a really important message. And I'm glad we'll all be able to hear it. And then we'll have, and here's our segue, the Woman Business Owner of the Year Top 10 panel. And many of our top 10 nominees will be joining us in Charlotte. We're really excited to have them join us to talk about their leadership philosophies, the kinds of challenges they've faced, and how they've overcome those challenges. So that's another really terrific piece of content for Leadership Academy on the first day. And then in the afternoon on Monday, we're going to break into those two tracks, right? The chapter leader track, where there'll be a lot of education and learnings about how to elevate your game as a leader in NAWBO. The membership drive winners will talk about how they did it. What are their tricks? What are their strategies? There's going to be content on board succession that can sometimes be a rocky period of time when boards transition from one year to the next. Sometimes there's lost sort of intelligence, right? Organizational intelligence. And our experts will be here to talk about both the hard skills of doing that, but also the soft skills of how to manage that, both around, how we do it practically speaking, but also the emotional intelligence components to transitions. We're going to be talking about the sorts of things we started chatting about at the WBC, at the Women's Business Conference, around the future of NAWBO nationally and in your community. So those roundtables will be part of that first afternoon as well for track 1, NAWBO leadership track. And then in track 2, which is about leadership and your professional development, we're going to have a session on how to boost executive visibility and why it matters. We've got Julie Lilliston speaking on that. In track 2, there'll be a fireside chat with Amanda Brinkman. So a more intimate gathering to allow our track 2 attendees to ask questions and engage in a robust dialogue with Amanda. And then a session on wellness and how that benefits you and your team with a health coach, Carolina Morelli. And then finally, a session on building engaging teams from Nicole Shamblin. So that first day, which is a full day, morning to late afternoon, we'll have lots of content, and then we'll all gather again together with a terrific presentation by our own Certrice Shipley. Certrice Grice got married and became Certrice Shipley, and she'll be talking about belonging and how that's so critically important in NAWBO, and how we can all do our part and get better at that, whether it's in an organization or whether it's in your own office, your own team, your own manufacturing floor. How to help, how to do better at ensuring that everyone feels as though they belong. And then for the second day of Leadership Academy, we're going to start with a session on sharing tools to navigate difficult conversations. And of course, we can all benefit from learning more strategies around that. And then we'll have peer roundtables on leadership, effective feedback, strategic planning, and branding. And then we go off lunch on our own at the end of the morning. And then we always have an opportunity to give back in the community in which we're having our Leadership Academy. Last year, we did a really terrific, fun beach cleanup in Long Beach. And we will have an opportunity to give back to the Charlotte community in a couple of different ways on the second day of Leadership Academy. So those dates again, starts Sunday, January 28th, goes through Tuesday, January 30th. Registration is live on the website. The link to the hotel, which is super cool. I got to go on a site visit a while back. It's a really neat, unique hotel, and I know everybody's going to love it. But it's a smaller boutique hotel, so we only have room for 200 people. So get that registration in, get your hotel reservations in so that you can be where the whole group of NAWBO sisters are for Leadership Academy. And that's it on December 10th. NAWBO typically takes some time off around the holidays, which happen this month. So allow me to say happy holidays to everyone. You deserve some time to celebrate. I think that you as women business owners, all of us as women entrepreneurs, we keep the home fires burning, we keep the work fires burning. Some of us are in that sandwich generation where we help out with the elders in our families and our neighbors. We do a lot, ladies. We do a lot. And so I want to wish everyone a happy, a healthy, a joy-filled holiday season. However you celebrate, remember to celebrate you. So thanks so much, and see you again on a Facebook Live in January 2024. Good night.